Tervehdys, Laura.
Terve Otto.
And welcome to our dear listeners to another episode of Spirit of Sauna podcast, in which we will talk about varying topics and delving deeper into, I would say, the more spiritual side of sauna, so to say. And today we have a really exciting topic.
Yeah, and I would like to actually ask you, Otto, that what is a vihta?
Yeah, well, this is interesting because when translating vihta, I'm always in trouble. And there's a little bit of inside baseball here because Finland is divided between East and West Finland, whether you call it vihta and vasta. And people have been talking about this for centuries, probably. And some people say that vihta is sort of a thinner version and the vasta is the bigger one. And in Eastern Finland, they would have the bigger, like vasta. And in the West Finland, you would have the smaller vihta. But I sort of never bought this because I say it's a vihta. So for me, it's a really like a big one with a lot of branches and so on. And then another trouble comes when you try to translate it to English. Because I've noticed that the Baltics and the Russians translate it as broom. And I'm always very confused about that. I'm like, what is a broom?
They also translate whisk.
Yeah, but the whisk is, that's what we have been using then. Yeah. And it's not the perfect. No. Because, of course, for the obvious reasons that the image that you get is something like spanking or something. And I've noticed, I've been to some Russian banyas and, it is more of a like spanking idea behind that. But when it comes to like treating with the vihta, it like I love this saying in the Finnish folklore that it's the sort of healing hand of the forest. And that would be like my idea, because for me, when I've been treated with vihta or when I treat myself with vihta, it is a very gentle process. It is a way to, you can like slide the vihta or just put a little bit of warm water through the vihta to your skin and all of that. So it's very difficult to find any word that would sort of have all of these meanings, and especially like having the sort of idea of the softness and the gentleness of the vihta. But something like that. And what do you think?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Like we spoke in our episode on löyly, that we have come to the conclusion that it's impossible to translate, so let's not even try. So I'm closer and closer to coming to also this conclusion with this topic. That when we are talking about this soft healing palm of the forest, the branches of different plants tied together into this healing tool, it's really impossible to have a good English word that would cover the whole meaning of it. And broom, I think there is that sort of, maybe the idea is because sometimes there has been some like traditional ways of using the old vihta then for sort of cleansing the sauna.
Right, that's the, now I
like,
get it, yeah.
There is some logic to it that, then you sort of make the whole word to it. So okay, there something.
So the cleansing idea.
So in that way, that could be halfway there, but still, the like what broom means when you think about just the word broom or you talk about broom, it's not really, it doesn't cover the vastness of what kind of cleansing does vihta provide. And also then the whisk is for me very difficult to process, because for me whisk, I think about whisking like whipping cream.
I noticed when I go to like Canva and make some flyer and it's a whisk and you get this.
Isn't it like there is somebody whipping some cream or something happening like that. So like of course there are techniques that are a little bit like that. So maybe whisking is one of the techniques that you do with vihta. So maybe it comes from there and like that. But it's a challenging word to translate.
I like that talking about Russians. Like they have the idea that, or the saying, I guess, is that having a sauna without a vihta is like a marriage without the bride. So like no marriage. So they always, and it's interesting how they actually designed the the architecture based on this. So you have all of these taps where you put the whisk to simmer a little bit and all of that. And even in new saunas, that's the interesting part. I can understand in the 70s or 80s when they were built, but even if they build a new banya, you have this dedicated place to simmer your whisk. And this is actually one of the parts, like Finns love to use the vihta, but mostly in the summertime. Like it's not like, for example, if you go to a public sauna, you don't have this kind of same sort of whole architecture based on the idea that you have to have the whisk in the sauna. And I've noticed that even like, that how to use a dried whisk is not a self-evident thing at all. Like that you actually have to simmer it for sometimes up to 1 or 2 hours to get it nice and soft and treating. And maybe because of this, the sort of where people sometimes even shudder when I say that there's a whisk treatment, and they think like, oh, with this dry in the wintertime, it's so dry, and with that you gonna hit me? No, I don't want to be hit like that. So it's again one of these examples that when a culture around something is lost and everything that is supporting it, starting from the design of the sauna to the way you're using it, and the temperature of the water where you simmer it, all of these, and which vihta to which occasion and all of that, then it becomes like an exotic thing for everyone. Even those people who might actually go to a birch and take some branches in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's exotic to use this. So it's, I think and also it's been hanging by a thread as a culture in general to be using a whisk.
It is,
and that that's actually interesting. What do you think? What happened there? Like whisk used to be like when you read in the archives everywhere.
I mean, sauna without a vihta is like food without salt.
Yeah, right.
That's what
That's
they
better.
say.
I like
that. Because it really is. Of course, you can eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's. I mean, you can. But just think when you put a drop of salt in your food, how all the flavors are enhanced and the whole richness of it comes out, and what salt also how it nourishes you and everything. So I find that this saying is a very good one. And when we forgot that sauna is the temple of the forest, we sort of shifted into this idea that sauna is the mechanical place for bathing. And we started sort of trying to rip out the idea of this löyly as the soul of sauna. We tried to sort of minimize it to this mechanical idea of water vapor, and at the same time it's sort of we forgot this salt of sauna. And that's interesting because we forgot the salt as well. Yes, we did.
So the food is blanded
and everything is forgotten.
It's forgotten. So because the thing is, in just like a public sauna, sometimes, and I send all my love to the smoke sauna village in Jämsä, but this is the case there too, that you don't use vihtas in the sauna because of the leaves are, it makes it dirty. So the thing is like, it does, but the idea is that maybe as a public sauna owner, for example, if you have a cleaner, you could pay a little bit extra to uphold a culture. Like how much can it be? Not too much. Just to take care of that the remains of the whisk are cleaned up. So in Jämsä smoke sauna village, we don't have cleaners coming there. So it's like, you can use like a plastic one, but not the real one. And
What?
And
okay,
I'm fighting for this.
I'm fighting. Believe this.
I'm fighting for this. Slowly. But the idea is, of course, that when a whisk disintegrates when you're whisking, you get some leaves. That's and some people can think that as trash. So that's the thing. We don't think them as trash. We think them. It's more like when I go to, for example, to the smoke sauna the next day, when you had today, for example, we have a big Japanese group coming and there's going to be a lot of whisk, remains. And then I go to the sauna and I smell the used whisks and I see these like damp, leaves everywhere. For me, it's like coming home. It's like the most most usual and most, I like it so much that I find it difficult to see these as trash.
Yeah, and well, I have to tell you now, I'm in a shock that if a smoke sauna village thinks like that, because I've always thought that this sort of forgetting the salt is to do with this, upcoming of the electric saunas and us making sauna like a fast food culture.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that we forgot the vihtas as this process was happening to us, that we switch our mindset, that because when you heat a smoke sauna, you are really preparing the temple of the forest with a lot of effort and a lot of love. And also heating a wood-fired sauna. You have a little bit more effort going into it.
And you kneel into in front of it.
You are there by the fire doing your worship and feeding the fire and all that. So I was sort of always thinking that when we lost that culture, we sort of lost the idea that sauna is actually a work of labor of love, and that this effort of heating the sauna and all that, also cleaning the sauna, goes into it. And when you are sort of the temple keeper, all this is part of the full ritual of sauna bathing, also the cleaning of it. Yeah. And I was thinking that then when we started doing it the electric way, when it's just that you press the button and maybe even just on your app tap and it's on, so you sort of want to minimize all the effort that you put into it. And then of course I understand that then you start viewing leaves there as a trash, even though that trash is not very, you have a little scoop and you just brush them out. It's not really a big labor, but I would somehow understand that if you want to have your all the time ready stove, that you just open the lid and you pour your water and you are 30 minutes in and out, then I would understand that, okay, you don't want to use 5 minutes for cleaning. But in a smoke sauna, I don't understand.
No, exactly. But also, like, it's not to pick on my dear Jämsä village, because the thing is that any public sauna, even smoke sauna, they sometimes, usually actually explicitly forbid the use of whisks. Yeah. Also, I must say it might have something to do with the change of culture. Like in our sauna, all kinds of people order whisks from us. We simmer it and we give the instructions, and especially in the smoke sauna, if you do like really in a like big, like with big moves, you might hit the walls and then you get some sut to your back and all of that. So we have to actually tell people like how should you do your whisking treatment to yourself in this kind of sauna. And but in most saunas, I think like the culture has it has been dominated by old guys, and that's these old guys have been, all the glory to them, because they've been upholding some of these most treasured traditions like smoke sauna and this whisking culture in part as well. So maybe it is a little bit more like forceful, which actually disintegrates the whisk faster, and especially if you don't do the tying up like very well, like it has to be really sturdy. It might be that it's like really exploding in the sauna, and then the next morning, the owner of the place or the cleaner comes in and is like, I thought it's 15 minutes, now it's 30. So it kind of, because I wasn't whisking there, so I think the best approach to this would be that you actually clean your own whisk stuff. Exactly. Wait, when you go? So
clean it up, but also we've forgotten the art of whisk making. Yeah, because this problem that the whisk just dissolves and lets go of all of its leaves usually is a problem that how it's been made.
Yeah, right.
How when has it been harvested? When have you done the foraging? How the leaves have they been fully developed? What has been the moon cycle at the moment? And how then you have done the preservation and the drying work, doing all that. There is very specific way of doing all that, so you minimize actually. But many of times when you have this store-bought vihta or they are picked whenever, foraging done whenever, maybe even done in a very like a bulk way and just quickly tied and dried in wherever. Sometimes you see some really the leaves are brown before you start soaking them. Right, so you realize that they're just gone. So obviously they're gonna make a mess. They're gonna make a huge mess. So there is also, this has happened. We have forgotten that we are forest people. We have forgotten that we are in sort of all the time in this very deep connection and interaction with the forest around us. And when we start doing it in a bulk, then you know, we lose it, and then this sort of snowball starts rolling, and then we end up with a sauna with no salt.
Right. Yeah, let's talk about that, because what people might notice when they go to our saunahealer.com website, they see all these retreats, and they see that they're in different parts of the year. And it's been so fascinating to have now people who come for the whole 3 retreats in one go, because they may be coming from the United States and they don't want to travel for 3 times, which is totally understandable. But what would you see the benefit of these 3 retreats, if you would have the possibility to attend to all of these from this forest perspective, of this foraging or like a seasonality? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. Then you really get to tap into the seasons.
Right.
And sauna is the temple of the forest. You know, nature lives by seasons. It doesn't live in a linear idea of time, but it's just has the seasons sort of that gives the sense of things, you know, happening one after another. But it's not like something is progressing one place to another. Winter follows fall, and spring follows winter, and so then comes summer, and then we're again falling back into the winter. And so this is what the idea why we have placed these retreats in different parts of the seasons. So you sort of get to tap into that. And yesterday I had the blessing of hosting a sauna ritual for beautiful lady, and she was after the ritual saying, "Oh, this was very different from the summer rituals," and "Oh, why did you do it this and this way?" And then we got into a deep conversation about this. That actually, you know, winter sauna is not the same as summer sauna.
Indeed.
And spring sauna is not the same as autumn sauna. So in the sauna, we embrace these seasons, and we sort of align ourselves with these seasons, and be it with the help of vihta, or be it with the help of the way we do the sauna. This is all about, you know, not fighting against, because we have this in the modern world, we have the idea that we want to be able to get all the same things, same way, standardized, and also that we demand that in the store there is same things available all year round, and we want our sauna to be the same and everything, but it's not. In the summer, just let the water be warmer and spend longer time, and in the winter the nature provides ice, and then embrace that. But it is sort of also letting go of this idea that we can standardize something, and just embracing this little bit chaotic nature. That things change, and it's always different. And this has been really nice when these retreats have hosting. The atmosphere of the whole retreat is very different. Of course, the theme is also different. Granted that.
Right.
But still, the whole atmosphere and the way people receive the löyly, and the way they then give it forward as they're learning to host these rituals, and so it's very beautiful. And we have placed this vihta retreat, where the topic is really dive deep into the techniques of vihta work, and how to really sort of make your sauna into this forest temple, where this healing hand of the forest comes and touches you and those people that you host. And in the winter time, it's quite beautiful, because we are sort of craving to dive into the sauna, like the bear wants to dive into its winter nest. Same way we are just dying to get into the heat of the sauna. And so it's a very nice moment to really, because vihta requires this moist and heat of the sauna to really give its benefits. And nature is sort of dead around us. So, you know, when you then enter into that fragrances and the touch of the forest, it is like almost a little summer that you experience in the middle of the winter. We lack sunshine, so let the sunshine of the forest then warm us up and sort of keep us through the winter. And I've been noticing this also, like when heating a smoke sauna, it's the same thing. Like for example, juniper is burning juniper in a smoke sauna is completely different in the summer than in the winter time. So like my sense is that in the winter time the juniper is like drier, I guess. So you can even burn like fresh juniper in the summertime, and you get this very like it feels like moist
scent of the juniper, but in the winter time is more like cleansing. You know, you get this the smell all right, but it's not like this moist smell. It's like more like dry, and then it always cleans up the stones. So, you know, also like, of course, we lost this culture because, you know, in a wooden sauna, sure, in wood burning sauna, you smell some, you know, maybe you open the hatch and you get some smoke, you know, scent or something like that. In a electric sauna, of course, nothing. So also the whole world of aromas and all of that, this is also something that we're really lacking. And yeah, it's definitely not even possible in a smoke sauna to experiment with these unless you are lucky enough, like we are, that we have our own sauna where we can do this. But when going to a public smoke saunas, which we don't have many, like just a few in whole Finland, which are open every day, so there you go. There it's very neutral. Like sometimes even the smoke smell, it's almost like you almost don't sense it. It's like, is this a smoke sauna or not? Like, because in our smoke sauna, there's no doubt it is a smoke sauna because it's pitch black. You know, the walls are full of soot and everything. So also the seasonality and the sort of the gifts of the forest in the form of the burning wood, and also these sort of spices that we put, sometimes juniper or oak or what is it? Aspen, sure, and all of these sort of spice wood that we want to use to clean the stones and all of that. So also those change depending on the year. And I think in an ideal situation, I would have, you know, all kinds of trees that, you know, all kinds of, and also the very nice, neat place, dry place where I could just have a few logs of this, few logs of that, to sort of make this buffet of scents in the sauna as well, and clean stones, so that the löyly is just perfect. Unfortunately nowadays, like, it's not the easiest job to get this wood. Like, I've been trying to get some of this wood, but the people who smoke fish, you know, they buy everything. So I'm always last in line. So, but maybe for next season. So this, and I think it's in the modern times, it would be actually a great idea to resurface or sort of reinvigorate these practices, because I tend to think, I'm a sort of, I would say, free market guy. So I always tend to think also as an entrepreneur, what do you want to offer in your sauna? You want to offer like very special kinds of experiences for people. So if you want to have something very, very unique, then you know, embracing this seasonality, embracing the temple of the forest as the source of sauna, that also could make sort of business sense for the entrepreneur. Just think like, I want to do something that is connected to the roots of sauna, but I also want people to enjoy and, you know, leave the sauna feeling so much better than just having a few, you know, pours of löyly and that's it. And
I mean, the amount of research that is being done right now about the health benefits of forest and nature, what it does to you, to your nerve system, to your hormones, everything. I mean, there is so much ongoing research all the time, and all the results that come back to, they are just telling the same story. Come on, go to the forest. But then we look worldwide. How many do have chance? So the forest is unfortunately all the time more and more limited to those who it's actually available easily. And sauna culture can be a help in this. You know, you can make your business really a chance for people to have this nature healing sessions, the forest healing, because in the sauna, in the moist and heat, the plants that you bring there, they sort of enhance their healing qualities. If we look at research done, what happens to your mental health when you walk in a forest of pine, when the sun is shining and the pines are sort of oozing out their the terpenes aromas. So it's a really uplifting and healing experience. And now then you bring that pine to your sauna, and what it does to you, and you go home very happy. And really, in a warm water, you know, you mix the elements, so you have the sort of fruits of the forest, and then you have warm water, and then you have the fire in the form of the sauna, and also the stones, the earth elements, and all of that. So bringing elements is concrete, but it also has this deep sort of philosophical background, which we always want to explore, like why would the ancient people use certain kind of symbols, is that it's concrete, but it also tells something fundamental about how this world works. And I love the fact that science is catching up, you know, and they're starting to realize
in all walks of science, from biology to geography to economics. They're seeing this the value of the forest. Us Finns, we're very lucky. It's I guess something like 90% of the whole country is forest, although old growth forest is very rare. Very little, yeah. But with us, when thinking about the summer retreats, for example, it's just so wonderful to see you guys in the just next plot, figuring out what should we pick, and is the right time of the month and all of that. It really gives us the sense that, especially in this sauna, it really starts from the forest. So everything that we use is provided by the forest. So even the water, because our well, it gets the water from the upper parts from the forest. Yeah. So all of that. And yeah, also in our retreats, this is exactly the perspective that we would like to offer to the world. All kinds of sauna practices have their place, but this one practice or series of practices is not very well known. And this is also why we do this research with people who come here. So if you come from another country, you bring your own sort of gifts of the forest, sometimes even concretely, people bring us beautiful things. But also I know from our forest, these leaves are similar looking, similar smelling as birch leaves or something like that. So it's also possible to apply these rules. And it would be fascinating. We were contacted by a place in Thailand, and I would love the idea that they would start this kind of seasonal saunotus thing also in their spa in Thailand. It's very exotic for us, but definitely possible.
Yeah, and obviously it is. Our interest is, of course, we are here providing a chance to experience the Finnish healing traditions and the Finnish way of sauna culture, and but the idea is also that we want to tap into something that is ancient and something that is definitely older than Finland.
Yeah.
But also when you get to the basics of this sort of very ancient practices like saunaing.
Yeah.
You get to that point that is beyond space and time.
Yeah.
These sort of eternal principles of life, and then you go home and you can sort of how would I say, implement them to the local way, because nature always manifests in a local way.
Yeah.
And nature has the sort of basic principles, but it never tries to imitate that everywhere would be the same.
Yeah.
So we try to, in these retreats, really encourage people then to tap into their local nature and to their local practices, and by understanding these principles. And for example, now in February we'll be going deep into the very basic techniques of how to bathe with a vihta, and how you can provide healing moments and treatments with the basic techniques to your loved ones and to your clients, and then you can implement them to your local ways by using the local plants and the local sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, right. And I've been thinking about this one sort of metaphor. We love metaphors here, but because. Now there's, of course, as we say many times, talk about Finnish sauna and how Finland invented sauna, especially the Finnish people want to say this and so on. And we always challenge this by saying that it's a global sweat culture, and it just happens to be that we were the last ones, mostly because of the family sauna and because of the practical needs and all of that. But I've been thinking, because there's this great book by Ray Bradbury, I guess it's Fahrenheit 751, I guess. But it's about a dystopian future where all the books are burned. And I actually remember reading a Donald Duck comic where it was music that was destroyed from the world. So if we would imagine a place where there would be no music, we'd just forgotten the skill of making music and enjoying music. And then we would have these Finnish people who would have some, a violin or a diddling guitar or something like that. And then people would already forget, since a couple of generations, it's not a thing at all. You don't even know what it is. And then you come to Finland and you hear this subpar guy in the street corner, and then you're like, wow, what is that? You can make sounds with that. It's great. What? How can you teach me and all of that? So this would be similar. Like it's not nothing that we can actually lose. All of these seasonalities and the idea of the temple of the forest, all of this, it's still there. It's just that we need to sort of relearn or maybe unlearn some of the ideas that we have regarding these sort of sweating cultures and sweat in general. Like we actually have to make an episode about sweat.
Yes,
that's really important thing as well. So I think part of the fact that people feel so good after a sauna is that it's this sort of eternal remembering. Like we used to live in the forest, we used to live in the plains and mountains and all of these beautiful natural places for hundreds of thousands of years, and we did bring these hot stones into the places where we dwelled. So it sort of gives us this ancient memory, even if you're in just a regular like electric heated sauna. Still, it's the combination is there. And this is also the reason why when you come, for example, if you come to our retreat and you learn some basic ideas about the whisk, if you have just a small like electric sauna in your home, you can make it a temple, of forest.
Yes.
In almost a similar way as a smoke sauna, in the sense that if you do it every day or many times a week, it's your routine, and it becomes sort of almost larger than life in that sense. Just like music, it's like you can have the shittiest guitar and you learn how to do some things, and you can be a master guitarist if you just do it every day and enjoy it and have sort of a passion for it. So we're definitely we're passionate and we're so consider ourselves lucky to be able to share with other passionate people about this sort of deeper aspects, and how to prepare sauna, how to treat in sauna, how to, take care of yourself in sauna, and all of that, and also how to make it make your living doing something like that, attending a sauna or healing in there.
Yeah, and what is more nicer than making your living by providing people a chance for a little healing and little sort of return to the nature. Even in the midst of the most busy city life, you can have that small sanctuary of nature in the form of a sauna where people can come and sort of just sort of let go of all that everyday hustle, and that is really a beautiful moment when you get to be the one providing that. And when you are sort of looking at the sauna from that angle, then isn't it quite a blissful job then to clean out those leaves and do that? It's actually very you feel like, oh, I'm blessed that I get to clean up after and prepare the next moment. That it becomes all part of this bigger worship ritual that like what temple keepers do.
Yeah, exactly. And in this way, it is a modern temple. Reminds me of these trips to India where I go to, and it's if you have a temple, and it might be for a deity or whatever, but around it is a whole ecosystem. So there's like merchants who actually make the pottery for the pujas and all of that, and then you would have the people who sell the bananas for the rituals, and then you have a restaurant, because when people come there for a longer time, they want to eat something, have a cup of tea, some chai. And in the same way, around the sauna, it can be, okay, of course, the löyly room can be just dedicated to sort of, I would say, worshiping the löyly, or just, equating yourself with the löyly, equating yourself with the part of your soul that is called löyly in Finnish, and also enjoying the steam, enjoying the health benefits right away. But then around it, you might have, I've been harvesting, some birch leaves, and they're here to dry up. And then on the other side is like, I make warm water for the löyly water, and and then I'm stacking firewood and all of that. So it becomes this beautiful ecosystem. And if you're lucky, you also have a great team around. Everybody does the part, so that the whole operation is successful, and we can do our sauna ritual in these places. Well, that's interesting talk from just one question about vihta. This is how it branches out.
Yes. And of course we have to understand that we have sort of now opened doors to many big topics that demand, like you mentioned, sweat. Well, forest is another one that we should really just talk more deeply, but going back to where we started from.
Yeah.
Vihta or vasta. Personally, I use both.
Yeah.
Vihta in my everyday speech, but vasta very often when we are singing the runes, because many of the songs and runes of the sauna have been written down from the eastern part of Finland. So obviously there is more of the vasta, and personally I have no problem with it. And I respect both. But yeah, vihta. Even if you don't have the techniques, but you have a chance to get a hold of a vihta and take it with you to your sauna. Just the fact to have a little bit of the aroma and just a little bit shake it in the heat of the löyly and press it against your body and give a good hug to the forest and let the forest hug you back. That already really, it's like adding salt to your plain food.
Yeah, right. It really changes everything. Yeah. So yeah, fascinating, and we welcome everyone to join us in February. Yes. We still have a few places left in the group, and it's gonna be a wonderful journey again. And of course, we want to make it as pleasurable as possible. We have a very nice place, Meilis, just a couple of kilometers away, where it's beautiful countryside, and we take care of everything. So we always say to people, just find your way to the Helsinki-Vantaa airport and we'll take it from there. So, that's what we do. And thank you again, Laura. What a fascinating discussion. And,
thank you. Otto.
Yeah, and thank you, our dear listeners, again. And I must say this, if you like what we're doing, please, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And some people have said that they have shared it with the whole family. And I must say one feedback. It was so beautiful to hear that our previous episode about Christmas sauna, because of that, there's one family, I guess in the United States, maybe you're watching or listening right away, so that you would have a family Christmas sauna. And if it was because of us, we're really humbled, and that's beautiful, because it's one of the, as we talked, most important things when it comes to Finnish sauna culture. So wonderful, beautiful. Wonderful. All right, but until next time, Laura.
Next time. Kiitos.
Kiitos.